Hi there! There's something that kids of all ages really love, and it's coming right here to the greater Western New York region. You can experience later on this month. We have a special guest who's going to give us a little bit about the behind the scenes action, as well as what's going on for this particular event and why you're going to want to be there. It's here on this week's version of the State of Greater Western New York Report, which is brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard. The Mendon Honeoye Falls Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history. Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the State of Greater Western New York Report. Join us each episode as we discuss fantastic topics ranging from history to science to the strange and the wonderful, as well as the treasured spirit with which our region has infused America. We challenge you to consider all things Greater Western New York, from our region's very beginnings to how it inspires, how it empowers, and why it is so admired. Here's the host of the State of Greater Western New York Report, Chris Carosa.
Welcome back to this week's version of the State of Greater Western New York Report. We've got a very special guest telling us about a very special, exciting thing involving dinosaurs. That's right. Everybody loves dinosaurs, from the smallest tots to the oldest olds. Is that a word? I don't know. But we're going to be talking to a park ranger in a moment. But first, I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to show you, a little bit of what this is all about. Here we go.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the greatest dinosaur show in the world, Jurassic Quest. Jurassic Quest. Colossal, fantastic dinosaurs is Jurassic Quest. Colossal, fantastic dinosaurs is Jurassic. Welcome to the greatest dinosaur show in the world.
There we go. It was cut off a little bit there. But hey, we've got behind us right now Park Ranger Marty. Marty, how you doing today?
Hello, hi, thanks for having me on. I was just enjoying that song, actually. That's my friend Joe Johnson doing that. He's just awesome.
Yeah, Marty, before we get into the show itself, tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got interested in dinosaurs and entertainment and education, everything that this Jurassic Quest is all about.
So, I stumbled upon this, actually. I got really lucky and stumbled upon it. I was a dinosaur nerd as a kid, just loved dinosaurs, and so later on, when an opportunity opened itself up with Jurassic Quest, I fell right into teaching about dinosaurs, and I actually learned a lot more about dinosaurs in the process.
That's great, and a lot of people, like I said before, a lot of people really like dinosaurs forever. I don't know what it is about them, but it's just, they're really interesting, they're really amazing, and this exhibit that you have is about as true to life as you can get, as we'll see in a few moments. But tell us a little bit about the show itself, or the exhibit itself. When did it start, and how did it come about, and who else is involved in helping display what's going on?
So, Jurassic Quest is the largest dinosaur show in North America. We have over 80 life-size animatronic dinosaurs and marine reptiles. In fact, our Ancient Oceans exhibit even features a 50-foot-long megalodon shark, so it's definitely something you want to see in person. We've got baby dinosaurs that you can meet. We have our walking dinosaur show, which is a lot of fun for the whole family. We have some of the largest rideable dinosaurs in North America. We have dino bounce houses, dino craft stations. You can learn the real science of dinosaurs at the fossil area. And for kids under 2, we have our brand new Triceratops. So there's a whole lot to do. Now, Jurassic Quest started out as a rather small show back in, I think, 2013. I think it was like 3 semi-trucks full of stuff at the time. Now, and that was just one show with 3 trucks. Now it is expanded. It is 3 shows traveling the U.S. and even in Canada sometimes. And I think each show has at least 16 trucks now. So it has just grown huge. And you're right, everybody loves dinosaurs. We all have that moment in our life where dinosaurs are just the most important thing to us. And the great thing about Jurassic Quest is you get to relive that moment if you're an adult, or you get to see it again through your kids' eyes. And that's a really magical time.
So tell us about, you're not the only park ranger. So tell us about some of the other park rangers and maybe what their roles are, what your role is, and how it interacts with the audience, both adults and children.
Yeah, if you go out to Jurassic Quest, you're likely to see any one of our 5 main characters. There's myself, Park Ranger Marty. Let's see if I can go from left to right. I think that's Dino Dustin right next to me. In the middle is the lovely Safari Sarah. Next to her, Captain Caleb. And on the far end, we have Prehistoric Nick. Now, Prehistoric Nick and I are both the real dinosaur experts. We have a lot of knowledge about dinosaurs and prehistoric life. Captain Caleb is getting there really fast, and Safari Sarah's learning. But Safari Sarah and Dino Dustin are our head PR people. Those are the ones that we typically go out and do news interviews with, but any one of the 5 of us you might see on news interviews as well. But we also like to do a lot of outreach programs. Ryan Seacrest, the Seacrest Kids Foundation, where they have the Seacrest Studios inside children's hospitals. We'll go out and do outreaches through Zoom or sometimes in person, depending on what COVID is like at the time. But we'll go out and actually reach out to kids that don't get a chance to go to our show as well.
You mentioned COVID, and I think that right off the bat, that was a question that we have from our audience is, how do you handle everything in these kind of flexing times with regards to COVID? How do you keep everybody distant? Maybe what's the difference before and after COVID and how you've run the show?
So it's been quite a transition. So COVID hit in March of 2020. I remember very well because at that time there were no more mass shows, so it was just cut off. And so for a month or so, Jurassic Quest kind of went dark, but then the management got the idea, why don't we turn it into a COVID-safe drive-through show? So then it became a drive-through show, and to make that more interesting, because it was outdoors and everything, everybody was in their own car, so it was safe, but a little less interactive. So we came up with the 5 main characters doing different storylines. We had 3 different audio tours that you could listen to. You'd still be learning about the dinosaurs, but it helped you be a little more immersed in the thing. Now, once vaccines came out and everything, and people could be a little safer in groups, we moved back to indoors, but we changed it a little bit. With the drive-through show, one of the things that it taught us is that if we stagger the times, then not everybody shows up all at once. It makes a really long line in the morning and then nothing throughout the rest of the day or whatever. So if we stagger the times, that keeps the crowd smaller. And that's what we're doing now. We have time slots that you sign up for, and then you come at that time slot, and that keeps the crowd smaller so you can experience the things faster, and then it just moves on. So we have smaller crowds all throughout the day as opposed to large crowds at certain times and then smaller crowds through the rest of the day. So it's actually been a really good learning process for us.
Which reminds me again, we've got another question here as well. How do I sign up? We'll get to those details in more detail in a moment, but just very quickly, Park Ranger Marty.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always happy to give that answer. You want to go to JurassicQuest.com to sign up for your tickets. We are coming to Rochester. We're going to be at the Florence Convention Center January 28th through the 30th. Friday will be open 9 to 8, Saturday 9 to 8, and Sunday 9 to 5. But like I said, because the time slots are now a thing, the best time slots sell out the fastest, so make sure you get there ahead of time.
So let's talk a little bit about the technology behind this, because I find that pretty fascinating. How has that evolved over the years that you've been doing it, and what has been the audience response to it?
The technology is very similar to what it was in 2013. We haven't advanced that far in animatronic technology. The lighting has gotten better. Some of the scenery's gotten better. We've gotten much better at moving things in and out of the venues. But the basic things that we use to make the dinosaurs move hasn't changed a whole lot.
Okay. How about the audience response? What have you learned from that?
So the audience always enjoys the show. In fact, one of my favorite things, with any job, you have moments where you're just kind of like, okay, it's a job. But one of the things when I was on the road that was so amazing, if you're having a slightly day, you could just go to those opening gates and watch kids come in and see their first dinosaur and just watch their eyes light up and their jaws drop. And it's just an amazing experience. It just warms you up and just psychs you up and gets you ready for the rest of the day. So yeah, people are always excited about it. There's just nothing like seeing real live dinosaurs up close.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that gate, because that gate seems to be something that people really are impressed with when they first go through it.
Yeah, we really wanted something that when you stepped through the gate, you knew that you were stepping into a different time. You were just like, okay, I'm leaving the old world behind me, all my problems and everything are just left behind, and now I'm moving in to the world of dinosaurs. I'm moving into the Mesozoic, and we have areas with the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous, so the three ages of the the three periods of the Mesozoic.
Now, in terms of the exhibit itself, what do you think is the most popular portion of it?
Oh, the exhibit itself, like the larger dinosaurs are always popular. Like T-Rex and Triceratopsine is always going to be popular. People love to see how big Spinosaurus actually was. And typically we'll leave something kind of jaw-dropping at the start of it, like an Apatosaurus, which is, you would probably think of as a Brontosaurus. But yeah, one of those big sauropod or long-necked dinosaurs right up, that definitely takes your breath away. Now, once they get in, the baby dinosaurs are super popular.
How about questions? What's the best question that you ever got from a kid? Not from an adult, from a kid. I'll ask the adult question later, but from a child, what is the most fascinating question you ever got?
Well, this is the funniest question that I got. I had a little kid walk up to me one time, and I'm, of course, dressed in safari outfit and whatever, and he comes up to me and he's like, "Are you the captain of the dinosaurs?" And like a responsible adult, of course I answer, "Yeah, yes I am." So he runs off. A couple moments later, his mom comes up to me, and she's like, "Can my son get a picture of you or he and you together? He said he had to have a picture of him and the captain of the dinosaurs." I'm like, "Why, certainly he may." So I've had a lot of fun experience with kids. The question I get most often is probably who would win in a fight between Spinosaurus and T-Rex.
Oh, okay. Who would win?
So Spinosaurus is, first of all, they would have never seen each other. Spinosaurus lived about 99 million years ago in Egypt. T-Rex lived in North America about 66 million years ago. So there's a 33 million year gap there, and they're on the opposite sides of the world. However, if they did meet, Spinosaurus's teeth are designed more for catching and holding on to fish, whereas T-Rex teeth are designed for crushing bone. So T-Rex has a much better bite force. Bite from a Spinosaurus would hurt a T-Rex. A bite from a T-Rex would most likely instantly kill a Spinosaurus. So I'm giving it to T-Rex.
You know, that reminds me, and I don't know if you recall this, but I think there's a famous mural, and it's T-Rex against somebody else.
Triceratops?
I don't know, but it was a chronological anomaly. It was like you said, they didn't live at the same time. Maybe it was a Stegosaurus. I don't know, but it was a fact. Yeah, it was.
That's a favorite. That's a favorite fact that paleontologists love to give out, is the fact that there's more distance in time between a Stegosaurus and a T-Rex than there is between a T-Rex and us.
Yeah, it's like when you think back in time, you don't think about the fact that, hey, they were different generations living at different times. You always think of all the dinosaurs together, especially when you see movies. I mean, the Stegosaurus is a favorite dinosaur, right? I think a lot of people like it because it's got all these fancy things attached to it. And, you know, the T-Rex as well. That's the T-Rex, the star of the show. So you always got to have both of them involved, even though that chronologically it doesn't make sense. Park Ranger Marty, we'll be right back we gotta cut to a commercial right now, and we'll be back with more on dinosaurs invading the greater Western New York region.
Through the mists of time, nature and man have both created and buried treasures beyond the imagination. With the ages, these riches slowly dissolve into mere myths until they are forever forgotten. But there are those brave souls who tirelessly cling to the truth, ever seeking to discover the undiscovered, to reveal what has always been there, to uncover the hidden gems of a land thought forsaken but loved by millions. 50 Hidden Gems of Greater Western New York. Discover the secrets in your own backyard. Buy your copy now at 50hiddengems.com.
Welcome back to the State of Greater Western New York Report. Again, I'm Chris Carosa, and with us today is Park Ranger Marty, who's telling us all about Jurassic Quest, which is coming to Rochester at the end of this month, and you can see and interact with dinosaurs just like you may have done millions of years ago, if people were alive then, but they weren't. So speaking about anachronisms, that's the word I was looking for, anachronism. So Marty, give us a kind of a run through of what people see when they go into the exhibit. I'm gonna put up some slides here, and you can describe them as I go around. But in general, what's the first thing they see when they cross through those gates and as they move along through the exhibit?
You're going to cross through the gates, and the first thing you're going to see is our dinosaur exhibit. So we like to have that first. That's the thing that people came to see. So you're looking at a big dinosaur there. I can't see its face, but it looks like it's probably a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And when you actually see one of those up close, they are large and intimidating. So that's the first thing you're going to see is our exhibit. Oh, there's a Carnotaurus right there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a Carnotaurus. That's a Ceratosaurus. My bad. So you're going to see a Ceratosaurus right there. So there are lots of really cool dinosaurs that you're going to see. That's another Tyrannosaur of some sort. As you go through the exhibit, then you're going to get to where our baby dinosaurs are. There'll be somebody out there holding baby dinosaurs, so you'll get a chance to see those. It used to be that you could pet them and everything. Of course, with COVID, we're not having people touch things, but you are going to be able to get very, very close. There's Camille. I'm going to bring her out later in the interview. That's Camille the Camarosaurus. She is a handful, and I don't think I fed her this morning, so she's going to be extra a handful. Yeah, she's definitely one that's going to steal your hat, your cell phone, whatever she can get a hold of. And then we also have, that's another one of our dinosaurs in our exhibit that looks like a Therizinosaurus from what I'm able to see in the background there with a long neck. Therizinosaurus is actually still a bit of a mystery. All we really have of that dinosaur are its arms and its claws, but we can tell by some other bones that we have found basically what the body's going to kind of look like because we have other members in the Therizinosaur family, and that's what happens with a lot of dinosaurs. Oh, that's our Utahraptors, I'm sorry. So our Utahraptors are the largest in the Dromaeosaur family. If you've seen a Velociraptor in a movie, they made it almost the size of a Utahraptor. In actuality, a Velociraptor is about 2.5 feet tall, maybe 6 feet long, weighs about 20 to 30 pounds. But the Utahraptor was the largest in that family. We actually have a live training show where you can help train our Utahraptors, so that's a lot of fun. Kids love that.
Tell us a little bit about some of the other types of interaction that you have at rides, things like that.
So yeah, we have some of the largest rideable dinosaurs in North America. So if you're ever wondering what it was like to sit up on the back of a Carnotaurus, well, there's a kid sitting on the back of a Carnotaurus right there, I believe. And so you'll actually get a chance to see what it's like. And we have a number of different types of dinosaurs that you can sit on. We actually have those dinosaurs. That's an ankylosaur. and those actually move around. So the other ones kind of move back and forth, but those actually kind of walk around and everything, so you get a real chance to experience them. There we have we got a kid sitting on a dinosaur in front of our fossil digs. Now our fossil digs, you actually get to pretend that you're a paleontologist. So you're in there with a brush and sand and moving away, so you get to pretend that you're discovering those dinosaurs. Yeah, there we see some kids having fun in those. And that is a good time. When I took my son originally, he loved the fossil dig, and we did videos pretending he was a paleontologist, and he had a blast doing that. So it's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is not just being entertaining, but being educational. And
Yeah,
so
I was
our
gonna.
fossil table. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Yeah, because it's not just all fun and games. It's also learning, but it's learning in a fun way. So kids not that you necessarily have to do that, because I think dinosaurs are naturally fun. Kids look at the fossils. Let's go to that. Tell us a little bit about the science behind what's going on at this exhibit.
So one of the things that's awesome about dinosaurs, there's a replica of Stan the T-Rex skull. Now the original Stan actually just sold in auction for $33 million, the most that any fossil has ever sold for. But it's kind of considered a bad thing in the paleontology community because then museums don't have access to that dinosaur and those fossils to study it anymore. And that's problematic. So it really prevents us from learning about dinosaurs. But we have a number of different types of skulls and replica skulls that you can see. And then we have real fossils as well that you'll be able to see there and learn about. But the awesome thing about dinosaurs is I always call dinosaurs a gateway science. Because if you're learning about dinosaurs, then inadvertently you're learning about geology, you're learning about astronomy, you're learning about biology, you're learning about all these different sciences, and you don't even realize you're learning about them. So if your kid has an interest in dinosaurs, promote that interest, because it's just going to make them more intelligent people, even if they lose interest in dinosaurs later on.
Now you've got more types of interactions with kids that you actually help them build things, or tell us a little bit about that, the hands-on activities that children can do.
So for the very young kids, we have, well, I guess for any age kid under 12, we have crafts that they can do. We have coloring and craft station that they can actually put together their own dinosaur, and that helps them understand a little bit about dinosaurs. And it's also just a fun, creative thing. It's something to bring home and hang on the refrigerator that your kids can be really proud that they helped to make. And like I said, there are the fossil dates where they're pretending about, what's the process, and you'll actually start to learn that, it's a little tedious actually out there going through and trying to, uncover these bones. It's exciting, but it's actual work, and the sand falls right back in sometimes, and you have to, keep clearing it out. So, and especially at the fossil table, you'll learn a lot about the dinosaurs and the actual science behind the dinosaurs. And then we carry that out. We want you to get the best information you can, so we've actually come up with a Dino 411 line where you can text your dinosaur questions directly to me, and I will answer them for you. So it helps keep it, if you're like, why does this dinosaur have what looks like fur on it? I would explain to you that it's not fur, it's a representation of downy-like feathers.
Speaking of Dinosaur 411, we just got a question, and I think they might not be happy with the response, but what dinosaurs ruled Western New York? And we covered some of this in a show earlier, but Marty, you gave a really good answer to that when we talked about this before. Tell us where were dinosaurs in terms of Western New York, or weren't they?
All right. I'm going to tell you some good news. There were dinosaurs in Western New York. The bad news is we don't really have any remains of those dinosaurs in Western New York, because Western New York was really bad about producing sedimentary rock during the time of the dinosaurs. We have found some footprints, so we know there were dinosaurs there. They were related to either coelosaurs or dilophosaurs. Now, if you saw a very famous movie, you might have think Dilophosaurus is going to look like this with the big frills and spitting poison or acid. Not actually right. Dilophosaurus is going to look more like this. He's just a little guy there. Well, he's not actually little. He's bigger than in the movie. He's actually probably about 20 feet long, 6 feet tall. So he's much bigger than they made him in the movie. But that's more what a Dilophosaurus actually looks like. And they could have been, or a close relative, could have been roaming around in the late Triassic, early Jurassic time. Now, in the rest of New York, you're not really going to find, like I said, you're not going to find dinosaur fossils typically. If you do, you've got a world discovery on your hands because they're super rare. What you are going to find are things from way before the time of the dinosaurs, like trilobites and things to that effect. There's a giant sea scorpion that lived in, I think, the Silurian time period, way before the dinosaurs. And then way after the dinosaurs, about 500,000 years ago, you're going to find things like mastodons, the giant woolly elephants that were around at the time, way after. But yeah, sorry, not a whole lot of dinosaurs in New York.
So did you want to introduce us to the little dinosaur there that you had, or the baby dinosaur?
I would love to. I have to go get her. Let me go get her for you real quick.
Go get her. You go get her real fast, and I'll just tell the audience that, hey, you're watching the State of Greater Western New York report, and if you want to ask questions live to our guests, you can do that. Just go to State of Greater Western New York, stateof.greaterwesternnewyork.com, and just sign up, and you'll be able to get an invitation to every live show, which is Thursdays at noon. They're repeated afterwards and archived on our website. They're repeated Sundays at 1:30 on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. But if you want to ask a question live, you can do that just by signing up here. So it looks like Park Ranger Marty's back with, who's that? Who's that you got there?
I am back with Camille the Camarosaurus, and like I said, I did not feed her, and she tends to think my beard is food. And so it's not food. I swear it's not food. So she's a little hungry. At least she's not going for my hat. She's just trying to eat my beard. So Camarosaurus is actually a long-necked dinosaur, or a sauropod dinosaur. She's actually in the Macronarian family, which is the same as Brachiosaurus. Let's see if I have a Brachiosaurus I can show you here. Brachiosaurus is one of the most famous in that group. It's a very large dinosaur. No, it's not food either. It's not food either. So, but she's in that same family. She's little now, but she could grow up to 75 feet long. She might weigh 47 tons when she's an adult. So, yeah, she's a handful now. I can't imagine what she's going to be like later.
Besides hat and beards, what else do these dinosaurs eat?
Oh, well, they'll eat your hat. This one, though, is a plant eater. She's going to be a high grazer later in life. She's probably a low grazer when she's younger, but they grow rather quickly. So mom Camarosauruses aren't thought to be very good parents. They typically are thought to just lay a whole bunch of eggs, and then the ones that get lucky and survive, kind of like turtles. So these might have been hanging around in groups, and then some larger animals would try to prey on them, and then some would get away, and those would have to grow rather fast. But they were good at growing fast.
Well, Park Ranger Marty, thank you very much for being on today's show. It was very interesting, and I'm sure that the event is going to be fun too. You want to remind us one more time about how to get tickets, when it's happening, and that sort of thing?
I would love to. Yeah, can I do this, please? Yeah. It's going to be at the Florence Convention Center, Florine. What is it? Florino. All right.
Florino Convention Show in Rochester, otherwise known as the Rochester Riverside Convention Center. They threw that name on a little bit more recently, so older people will remember it just as the Rochester Riverside Convention Center.
All right, good. It's going to be January 28th through the 30th, and once again, the hours are Friday and Saturday, 9 to 8, and Sunday, 9 to 5. And once again, you can go to JurassicQuest.com to get your tickets, and you can come here apparently to get your beard food. And like I said, we're selling them in time slots, so you want to get in early to get the best time slots.
All right. Again, thank you, Park Ranger Marty, and we look forward to the exhibit. Bye-bye.